a career advisor in the Albers Placement Center. And I help kind of coordinate this event. So I'm available afterwards if you want to email me or have questions you don't want to talk about here, then I'm happy to help you. Any of our team can help you as you get ready to attend. So I help serve undergrad students in advising in career planning and prep, and then I kind of manage our programming for undergrad students. And I also manage our Albers Mentor program. So, and the rest of my team is here as well. I'm just going to have them do a brief introduction so you can kind of see faces with names if you haven't engaged with our office very much. And I should mention, we're the Albers Placement Center. We're the career center for the business school. So we serve undergrads and grad students in Albers with everything related to career planning. So Justin, do you want to go ahead and introduce, since you're kind of co-presenting with me?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Justin Dolce. I'm a career advisor with the Albers Placement Center. I have a similar role to Megan. I work mostly with our grad students and then help plan events for our grad students.
Great. And Mary Lou?
Welcome, everybody. Mary Lou Moffitt, Director of the Albers Placement Center, and here to help you get prepared for Tuesday afternoon.
And Abby.
Hi, everyone. I'm Abby. I am an undergrad career advisor, and I will echo that I'm excited to be here and help you guys prepare for career.
Cool. Thank you, team. So just a couple housekeeping items. If you just want to stay on mute while we're presenting, in case there's background noise or anything, but we want this to be informal and helpful for you. So I have some slides prepared as I go through. If you have a question pop up, feel free to just unmute yourself and ask it right then. You don't have to wait till the end. So we can just kind of talk about it right then on that topic. And then we can also do some time at the end to do some questions. You can also put questions into the chat box. The team will be monitoring that the whole time. And yeah, so just feel free to we just want to make sure this is really helpful for you. So don't be afraid to ask questions. So I'm going to share my screen and pull up the PowerPoint. I created a PowerPoint mostly just because I want to show you all some visual images. We are using a different kind of platform for this event. It's not Zoom, which hopefully you're kind of excited about because I know probably everybody's a little sick of Zoom. We actually used this platform for an event back in the fall, and it worked really well. And it just kind of has some unique, nice elements to it that I think make it kind of fun. And again, it just looks kind of different than Zoom. You have much more ownership and control over your experience during the event, and who you want to talk to and what you want it to look like. So I kind of wanted to show you some of the ins and outs of what that looks like today. And then also just in general, kind of, when I know maybe attending a virtual networking event is kind of new for a lot of people. So how do you maximize that? What do you talk about? Similar kind of stuff that we would go over if we were doing an event in person as well. So we'll kind of go through all of that. And team, as I go through this, I can't see the chat box. So if you guys could kind of be monitoring that, that would be great. Okay, so let me give you some background on what this event even is. Normally it's called Albers Career Night because we do it in person. Normally it's off campus at this fun kind of bar location down the street. And it's an opportunity for undergrad students and Bridge MBA students in Albers to kind of build connections from more of a career planning standpoint. It's not really, it's different than a career fair. It's meant to be more informal, more kind of fun and relaxed. Use it as a way, you can use it for a variety of different reasons, which I'll talk about here in a minute. But, in our team, when we are doing career advising with students, in appointments, obviously we're going over all the things you would expect: resume, cover letters, interviewing, how to find a job. And at some point, usually when I'm working with a student, and I know my team as well, we end up getting to the point where we're talking about, you can do all these things online, but there's also this really important part of building relationships, making connections, specifically in the industry that you're interested in or at companies you're interested in, and that you can't always just rely on doing everything perfectly online. That so much of this process involves making connections and learning about how to navigate the industry and what the possibilities are, and kind of building that, what we would call professional network, I guess. So when I'm talking to students about that, I'm showing them LinkedIn and giving them examples. A lot of times I'm helping students connect with alumni directly and helping to make those connections. But for this event, we wanted to try and, bring all of that to you directly. So you don't have to go out on your own and try to find all these people. We're trying to bring the connections to you, and make it a little bit easier and create one event where you can connect with multiple people and start getting those relationships going that then you can develop from there. And so we've been doing this event for several years. It has shifted and changed. And this year is the first time we're doing it virtually. So it's really adapting this year, but the idea is still the same, that we are creating a space for you to meet people that are from a variety of industries, roles, companies, so that you can have meaningful conversations to get information that's helpful for you in your own planning, or maybe even connections that can help you land that job or internship that you're seeking. So who's invited to this event? Obviously undergrad students, Bridge MBA. And then from the professional side, our invitation list includes mostly alumni, and they're mostly Albers alumni, from both the Bridge MBA and our undergrad degrees. We do invite some employers and recruiters. There's actually some recruiters who really prefer this type of event, sometimes even more than a career fair, because they get to have more personalized conversations with you. And then we also invite a lot of our Albers mentors who work with undergrads and who work with Bridge MBA. So it's kind of a variety of professionals, but they're all kind of tied with SU or Albers already. I would say, as I look at the list of who's coming so far this year, and you will get that information before the event, it's probably about 80% alumni. So this is a really fun, I think alumni really love this event. It's a chance for them to give back, to support current students, and stay connected with Albers. And, alumni are such a powerful network for you because you have this SU in common and they want to help. They remember how it was to be in your shoes and who helped them along the way, and now they want to give back. So it's an opportunity for you to directly connect with those people, and multiple of them in one event time. So why you might attend, everybody comes to this for different reasons. If you are a first year or a sophomore and you're still trying to even figure out what to major in, this is a great activity or event to attend to just start to explore career possibilities. Somebody who's majoring in finance, what are they doing now? Somebody who has a degree in marketing, what does that look like? If they're Bridge MBA alum, what are they doing now since doing that degree? And just kind of starting to see, where do people end up? What are different role titles? What are those roles like? How did they end up there? From a general sense of just what is life like after SU? How's it been? Especially lately, if you're talking to people who graduated in the last year or two, how's the job market? How did they navigate that? What advice do they have for what's going on in the industry? if you can use it just to explore, you can see where what companies people are at, and they can give you more insight into, you know, if I'm applying for this organization, how do I navigate that system, or how did you get in and navigate through all of that, or what's the environment at the company like, why do you enjoy working there, things like that. So you know, you're getting this direct kind of feedback experience that when you read a job description, you can't always get that kind of insight. And so our professionals are excited to share, you know, here's really what it's like at this company, or here's really what it's like in the industry. Here's what you should be doing now to prepare for it, that kind of thing. So really cool opportunity for you to learn some things that you maybe wouldn't know if you're only online looking at job postings. And so we hope some really cool insight and direction comes out of this for you of like what to do next in whatever you're pursuing, internship, job, or just career exploration. Team, anything to add? So that's kind of the whys and what this event is all about. And so let me kind of show you visually how we're going to try to do this virtually, so that you can kind of see firsthand how you will navigate the event. And in emails that we're sending out to students, there's also pretty much these slides in an attached PDF. So you'll have this to refer to. I also will, I can, in this email, we're recording this today. So when we email about the event, we'll link to this recording in case you want to watch it again. So if you're interested in going on Tuesday or planning to go, it can be really helpful to pre-register in, so the platform we're using is called Hopin. Excuse me. Hopin requires you to create an account on their site. And so it's just kind of helpful to go in and figure all that out now, rather than doing it right before the event. So let me show you. So this is our event URL. This is how you get to it to register. And then when you're ready to go to the event, this is what you'll go to as well. So if you click on this today, it'll take you to this kind of registration page, okay? And you're going to click join event. And this is where it wants you to kind of set up your account. It doesn't ask for a ton of information, but anytime you attend a Hopin event in the future, or when you get ready to attend our event, then you'll have a login and it's all synced up and knows that you want to attend this event. So you just fill out your name, email address, and create a password. Keep this information because you'll need it to log into the event next Tuesday. If for some reason you've attended a Hopin event in the past, or maybe if you went to our mentor fair in the fall, you probably already have a Hopin account. So to get registered for this event, then you'll click this sign in, you'll log in, and then it will register you for the career night on Tuesday. You'll know all of that went through because you should get a confirmation email in your email that you are registered and good to go. The other nice thing about why you want to register now is then it will give you a reminder. Hopin will send a reminder the day before and also like an hour before the event. And the one an hour before will give you a link to directly get into the event. So it's kind of nice to have all those automatic reminders. So that's pre-registration. You could go do that today. You could even do that right now. So it's just kind of, if you want to jot this down really quick, you could even go do that now while we're talking about it and get yourself registered. This next slide has the URL as well. So then when you're ready to come on Tuesday, the event starts at 4:30. So I think you can get into the event about 5 minutes before. So about 4:25, you'll go back to this same URL again. And if you pre-register today, when you get to the page, you'll log in to access the event and log in with your Hopin account information. If you forget to pre-register or just don't do it, no big deal. You can still access the event. You'll just click the join event and you'll have to go through the thing I just showed you to set up an account, and then it will let you into the event. So pretty intuitive, pretty good. I think I just find sometimes people get confused about having to set up a Hopin account. So I like to kind of clarify this part. So easier, I think, to just pre-register before, and then you're all set to go. So once the event starts, so about 4:25, 4:30 next week, you get into the event. There's kind of 3 parts to the setup of Hopin, and you'll see the 3 parts in this menu over here on the left. This is kind of your navigation menu for the whole event. So when it allows you to get into the event, you'll land on this reception page. It's kind of our just introductory page. If you scroll down here, you'll be able to see some instructions, the schedule, just has some helpful details for both students and professionals of what's going on at what time, and kind of what to be prepared for. Right away, kind of right as you get into the event, we will start the stage portion. And you'll see this little live button come on when that's going on. So you'll know, oh, right now, okay, right at about 4:30, I should go to this stage, okay? The stage is for everybody to come to, professionals and students. It's just it's going to be a quick part. It's just a way for us to, it'll be a couple of us staff and then the dean of the Albers School to just do a brief welcome, introduction, kind of pull everybody together. We're all here, why this is important, why are we here? And then I'll give a few instructions about the event. So that part will only be about 10-15 minutes, really brief, but just kind of give time for people to get on to the event and gather together. And then we'll move into the more kind of mingling, networking part right after that. So after the brief welcome and an introduction, we will have the professionals kind of take some time to get into their sessions, which I'll explain. And then we'll have students kind of go and navigate the sessions. So sessions are similar. I kind of compare them to like a Zoom breakout room kind of idea. When it's session time, you'll see this, it says now, and you'll hit sessions over here. And there's a dashboard of all the sessions. There will be the name of the person, the company, and role that they have. We do have little images that I'll explain in a minute, but all of the sessions available will be listed here on this dashboard. And every professional attending will have their own session, okay? It's almost as if they had their own table at an in-person event and you went over to their table to say hi to them. Kind of the same idea. It's in yellow. All the people in business analytics have a thing that says business analytics here, and it's in orange. So you can kind of also look for it visually as well if there's certain business areas that you're particularly interested in, or maybe it ties in with your major or something like that. Anything else on sessions? Don't think so. So when you're, let me tell you one thing. At the top, or the first one always listed, will be this help desk one, okay? That session will be staffed by our team, Albers Placement Center team. So if you get to this session part and you're like, oh my gosh, what do I even do? Or kind of nervous, or I just feel overwhelmed by this platform, go into that session and we'll be happy to help you. Or if you find that you're having technical difficulties or your video's not working or something like that, jump in there. It'll be us. You've seen all of us, you're familiar with us, and then we can help you with the technical issues, or just, get you geared up for going in and talking to the professionals. So please know this help desk is here the whole time for you. So then if you find the person that you want to go in and meet and talk to, you'll click on this session and you'll see this button that says share audio and video. So again, this is kind of what it looks like when you're in the session. Like I mentioned, it looks a lot like a Zoom breakout room. The difference is our team is not managing anything on the back end. You can enter a session and leave a session on your own time, however you want to do that. There will be a max of 4 people in a session at a time. So we'll have the professional, and then a max of 3 students can be in there at a time. So if you go to a session and you see that it's full, just maybe try to go see somebody else that's not full, and then you can come back to it. We're trying to keep these small so that you can actually have a good conversation with the person you're trying to meet, and get your questions asked and hear their story, so it feels a little more intimate and personal rather than this big presentation. So again, it looks very similar to Zoom or Teams. You can control your audio and video down here, this share screen, but you wouldn't ever really share your screen. And then you just kind of have a conversation or jump in. If maybe 2 students are already in there, you can kind of find out what everybody's talking about, and get to, actually interact with this alum or mentor or employer. There's also a chat box for this session, so you might utilize that a little bit. Probably mostly though, you'll just be engaging with people in here. And then, however long you stay, maybe 5-10 minutes, you have a good conversation, and now you're ready to leave. What you do is you click leave, and then you click on sessions over here again to get back to the dashboard. And then you can go find another person to enter their session and go interact with them. So hopefully that helps you from a visual standpoint of what some of this platform is going to look like. The session part though is kind of like okay, this is the actual, now I'm interacting and engaging. And I know for some people that can be the intimidating part. So Justin is going to go through, how can you manage this part well? What would you even talk to these people about? What are some questions, some tips around that? So I'll hand it over to Justin.
Cool, thanks, Megan. So preparing for the event, one of the first things you might want to do is think about what you want to say about yourself when you're talking with some of these professionals. So what we have here is kind of some conversation tips. You can think of it as almost a template to figure out what you want to say about yourself. So basically your personal introduction. You might want to jot down some things like, what's your major or program? What class year are you in? Obviously your name. What kind of opportunities are you seeking? Are you looking for an internship or a full-time position, or are you just exploring opportunities, trying to figure out what you might want to do? What do you want to learn more about? Are you interested in marketing? Maybe you're interested in learning more about business analytics. Maybe even jot down some strengths or skills that you might want professionals to know about. Think maybe about a couple experiences you might want to highlight as you're talking to them. They could be anything like class projects, past work experience, I don't know, even just something fun that you did recently that you might want to use as a conversation starter. So kind of as you fill something like this out, think of it as an outline that you can then take and use to sort of craft what would be called, like a personal introduction. So for example, if I were to go through and fill out these different sections, what I might have is something like, here, I'll just give you an example real quick. So it might be like, hi, my name's Justin. I'm a senior studying business analytics. I'm looking for an internship where I can learn more about how, analytics are used in the tech industry. I'd also like to utilize my ability to work well in teams and also to make practical sense out of data. A couple things that I'm really proud of that I did recently are a class consulting project that I did with a small group. And I also helped a club that I involved with on campus transition to virtual meetings. So when you're thinking about this and you introduce yourself to somebody, you might not necessarily want to just dive in and give that whole pitch, if you will. But you can use it to break it up into smaller conversation pieces. So maybe you start with the introduction, maybe the professional asks you a couple questions, then you can kind of dive into talking about what you're studying, what you want to do. And then maybe you can mention a couple things like the project that you worked on or the club that you're helping to work with. So it does just help to prepare to do something like this, so you have an idea on some things and topics that you might want to talk about. I think we can go to the next slide, Megan. So the other thing you'll want to do to prepare is, think about what you want to ask professionals, what you're interested in learning from them. So we have a list of some sample questions here. These are all really good conversation starters. You can utilize them to, talk with a lot of different professionals in a lot of different industries. Like I said, really good just conversation starters. Something else that you can potentially do is do some research into who will be attending the fair, or not the fair, the networking event. And as Megan said, we'll be sending this list out of who's attending on Monday. And as you're doing this research, maybe you're looking into what companies the professionals work at. You can check out the professionals attending on LinkedIn to learn more about them. So as you're doing some research, write some questions down that pop into your mind. Could be anything from the professional's journey from school to where they are now. Or maybe as you're doing some research, you read something interesting about a particular company or a new trend in an industry that you found interesting. Jot all these things down, and these could be some good questions that you could then use when you're meeting with the professionals. And this will also show you did some homework, you did some research before going into it, and you can have some tailored questions to ask certain individuals. Also, as Megan said, this isn't a career fair. It's not a job interview. And most of these attendees are young alumni who, they were in your shoes not too long ago. So they know how, difficult it can be sometimes when striking up a conversation or trying to figure out what you want to do with your life when you're done and graduated and looking for a career. So think of it more as having like a relaxed conversation with someone, around a business topic. Think of it as a way to explore various careers, job titles. If you've always wondered what a business analyst does, that's your conversation. You can find out more about really what this position actually does on a day-to-day basis. So just think of it, as I said, a really good opportunity just to have a casual conversation with somebody and just learn more about various, jobs and industries. So all that being said, there is a couple pieces of etiquette, as you're kind of in these rooms that we wanted to address. So you don't want to stay too long in a room. I mean, definitely stay and have a good conversation, but we do have a max limit of 4 students per room with a professional. And that is to, on purpose to try to have a more, intimate back and forth conversation. So since we can only have 4 students per room, there could be other students waiting to come in. So, spend 4 or 5 minutes and then kind of move on and meet somebody else to learn about a different professional that we have. So when you're doing that, you'll probably not want to just up and leave. So since it is a small group, it might be nice to sort of have an exit planned on something that you want to say when you are kind of excusing yourself to go on to a different room. So, just tell the professionals, thank them for their time. Maybe even say something like, thanks for your time. I'm going to check out some different rooms, but I really found what you had to say super helpful. Do you mind if I connect with you on LinkedIn? Great, thanks. Have a good night. See ya. And then you can kind of leave the room and go on to another room. Okay, think anybody have anything else to add around kind of the tips or for, entering, leaving the rooms or talking with the professionals? I kind of covered a bunch of stuff kind of fast.
The only thing I would say just is like when you enter a room, the people in the room might already be in a conversation. But I think the professional will do a good job helping to like bring you into the fold, welcome, what's your name? And we were just discussing XYZ. So I think because the groups are so small, they will help kind of navigate that. So you could just say, just kind of, they're in the middle of something, wait, and then at some point be able to introduce yourself and then get your questions asked. So yeah, a little bit. I think it's actually going to be easier than if you're at an event and you see a couple people standing around and you have to try and kind of, navigate. This is a little bit, you just enter the room. So there are some nice added benefits sometimes about this virtual setup that are a little bit trickier when you're in person. So.
Yeah, I would just add that I know sometimes networking can be a little bit intimidating, but in this situation, all the employers that are there want to be there probably because they enjoy chatting with students. So if you're in a situation where you didn't have time to research a company or anything like that, that's okay. You can kind of rely on those two basic questions of, can you tell me a little bit about your company or tell me a little bit about your career? Then that's never going to fail you. You always have that to fall back on. So don't feel intimidated if you don't know anything about the company.
Yeah, I think Jess and I were talking about earlier, this is one of those events, you do not have to have your ducks in a row. Like you can be totally curious and exploratory, obviously still respectful and grateful that they're giving their time, but you can not know what you want to do yet. And I'm sure they will still be happy to tell you about their career, what they did, how they applied, insights they have around that, because they can empathize with where you are. So great. Thank you, Justin. I appreciate it. Couple other things to show you about Hopin. Throughout the event, on the right side, you will see a chat box. There's an event chat box. There's also, like I show you, a chat box for when you're in a session. So definitely pay attention to this throughout the event, because our team will be putting in important announcements or reminders or, information you might want to know. We found that when we did this event in the fall, the chat box was actually really fun, because people would say, a professional might say, hey, I'm available in my room. I can talk about, XYZ, come visit me, or this is a place if you're struggling, you can put that in the chat box and we'll try and help you. We're also going to do some fun giveaways and raffles based on, a couple like incentives and challenges as you're going through the event. So we'll be putting that in the box. So it kind of just, this one helps. Everybody's going to be all in these different rooms. And this, I think the chat box kind of helps feel like the event's a little more cohesive. So keep an eye out for what's going on in that. There's also a people part. So if you wanted to message our team specifically because you're struggling or you have a question and you don't want to put it out there for the whole event to see, you can come search our team in here and just send us a message directly so that we can help you. Or again, we'll be in that help desk session, so you can jump in there and we can video with you. So pay attention to the chat box. It's kind of a fun part of the event. And again, all of these are in the student instruction. All these slides are in the student instruction manual that we sent out a couple days ago, and it'll come out again in the email on Monday. I think we'll probably also put it online somewhere under the Career Night event. So we will get it to you, or you can email us if you can't find it and need it directly. But Hopin has a lot of articles online. If you're kind of having technical issues or for some reason your video is not working, they do recommend to do this event. I think in Chrome is probably the best browser to use for Hopin. But all of that are in these support articles here. So if you are having any issues, or it's just good to check them before the event so that you don't have any technical issues. And then of course, we'll be monitoring our office email throughout the event. So if you can't even get into the event and you are struggling with that, please send a message to that email, which is apc@seattleu.edu. So we can try to address what's going on and get you into the event. So, or between now and then, you can email this if you want us to send you directly these slides, or if you just have any questions that you didn't want to ask today. So anything else, team, to add or anything? And Kevin and Yoga, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, or you can just unmute yourself. And if there's anything we didn't address, we're happy to answer it here.
I don't have any questions at the moment, but I think I'll email you guys if I have some.
Please, yeah. The apc@seattleu.edu is the best one. And that's good. Maybe then we covered everything. I hope this was helpful for you. Great. Okay, well, I think we will end it here. And yeah, if anything comes up, please reach out to us via email. There's lots of time. Check your email on Monday. We'll send one final, details kind of email. And in that will be an attached list of the professionals planning to attend. So then you can kind of prep ahead of time who you want to meet and talk to. Keep an eye out for that. I'm still kind of working through it. If you want that on tomorrow, I could even send you where we are with it. If you want the weekend to kind of prepare, just let us know. But otherwise, we look forward to having you at the event on Tuesday. Abby put the registration link in the chat, so go ahead and feel free to go register, and then we'll see you on Tuesday. Thanks, everybody.